So now we know how to create an array. We know how to get information out of it by using the index, and we know how to manipulate an array by adding things to it. But what if we want to remove something from an array? So I'm going to go ahead and hard code these items directly into this array. I'll put a comma between each one. And I will remove the push statements. Okay, so now we have our tasks array. How do I cut one out once I'm done with it? So let's say on the way home, I stopped at the store and I bought milk, and I need to cut that from my tasks array. So it's gonna be pretty similar to how we added something. We're gonna say the name of the array, tasks, and then dot, because we're gonna use a function, or we're gonna have an action working on this array. And we're going to use one called splice. And splice is how we cut something out of an array. So we're going to say splice, and then we're going to have our parentheses, because we're going to pass in some information here. And we're going to pass in two numbers. Now if you look here on the screen, my text editor is telling me what I'm going to use. So this says splice, parentheses, and it says start and number. And it says the zero-based location in the array from which to start removing elements. So what this means is we need to give it a number to where to start cutting out items. So if I want to cut out the first thing, I'm going to say go to the 0th item and cut it out. Or if I want to cut out walk the dog, I'm going to say 1. So we give the array, we give splice the index or the location of the item that we want to cut out. So I said buy milk, so we're going to say 0, 1, 2. So I want to say 2. And then the next thing is how many things I want to cut out. And if I only want to cut out one thing, so I want to say 1. So again, splice takes two numbers, the location of the item that we want to cut out, and how many we want to remove. So we only want to remove 1. So now, when I console log my tasks, my array, buy milk is going to be cut out. And look, buy milk is gone. Now what if we wanted to cut out walk the dog? All I'm going to do is change this 2 to 1, because I'm going to go 0 and then 1, and it's going to cut out walk the dog. So when I run the program this time, I'm going to be left with wash dishes and buy milk. Make some space here, and look, wash dishes and buy milk. So again, the way splice works is you say the name of the array, or you say the variable name that is the array, and then dot splice, and then it takes two numbers, where you want to start cutting out, and then how many you want to cut out. So just to give an example of how we do that, let's say we want to cut out 2 things. In this case, it may not be the best idea, but just to demonstrate that this second number tells us how many to cut out, this is going to go to the first item, which is after the 0th, which is walk the dog, and it's going to cut out 2 things. This one, and then the next one after it. So now, when we run this, we'll be left with just wash dishes. But unless you have a good reason to, and sometimes you want to do that, let's just cut out 1.